Pesachim Daf Lamed Beis. This year should be a special schosser for Shlema for Yusei Shalom ben Nechama. Today's daf discusses when one eats truma of chametz. He eats truma, so there's an additional payment, and not only do you have to pay back the keren, you also have to pay back an additional fifth. The Gemara says, how do we evaluate the usage of truma? Does it go by the value of the truma, or does it go by the volume of the truma? The midah, the volume, or the damim, the value? And we're going to explain that this is only a machlekes if it goes down in it goes up in value after you stole it. We're going to try to bring two proofs, and finally we're going to conclude that it's a machlekes tanayim, indeed, whether it goes by damim or whether it goes by midah, machlekes Rav Akiva and Rav Yochanan ben Nuri. As we turn on to Amid Beis, we're going to figure out what is the lowest amount of usage of truma in order to get this additional fifth payment. The Tanna Kama is going to teach us the kizayis. Abba Shal is going to teach us it's a shava pruta. Says the Mishnah on Lamed Aleph on the base. If one eats chumas chametz on Pesach b'shegig, what do you have to pay? You have to pay the keren and an additional fifth. But if amazed your potter. So the Gemara comes along, and the Gemara, as we turn on to Lamed Beis Lamed Aleph, discusses how do you evaluate this? Does it go by midah, the volume, or does it go by damim? Says the Gemara. Everyone agrees if it was originally worth 4 and then went down to 1, then of course you have to pay 4. Just like every thief, you pay for the time that you steal. But says the Gemara, what if it went up in value? How do you view it now? Do you pay by the volume, the midah, and therefore you stole a certain quantity, you pay back the same quantity even though it's worth more right now? Or do you go by the damim, you go by the value, and therefore you pay whatever you stole even though it went up right now? Says the Gemara, we'll bring two proofs. The first proof the Gemara tries to prove is that if you eat a gregarious dried figs and you pay back dates, it says Tavla Bracha. The Gemara here says that if you're going to tell me that it goes by the value, what's the blessing? You're giving it back the same amount that you stole, same amount that you ate. Seemingly is a proof that it goes by the volume, and that's why it's Tavla Bracha, because now it's worth more money. Says Abaye, no, it's not true. The reason is because it's easier to sell, but not that it's actually worth more money. Says the Gemara, I'll bring you another proof. That if our Mishnah says you eat Chumas Chametz on Pesach, what's the halacha? You have to pay the keren and a fifth, but it's Pesach, there's no value. Seemingly a clear proof that it goes by the volume. Says the Gemara, no, the Mishnah is going to Rizek. Lily holds that there is a value. Could he get benefit? Why b'mizid is it going to be potter? For a different dinner from Nechanya ben Hakana, who he holds that when you're over a deraisa, a misa, that you eat chametz on Pesach, you're over a misa. That's the reason why you're going to be potter, and that's why by mizid you're not going to have to pay. We move along and we say that indeed this is really a machlekes tanayim. The Rav Akiva holds you're potter from paying when you eat chum of chametz on Pesach. You know why? And Rav Yochanan ben Nuri holds that you're chayiv. The reason is, as we move along to Amid Beis, the Gemara explains the reason being that Rav Akiva holds the reason why you're going to be potter is going to go by the damim, the value, and there's no value in Pesach. Rav Yochanan ben Nuri is going to hold it goes by the midah, and there is a volume on Pesach. Says the Gemara, of course, that's pashut. The Gemara explains, no, the chiddush is you might have thought that the reason why you're going to be chayiv is because you're going to the opinion of Rabbi Yossi Aglili, who holds that you could get benefit. The chiddush is that we're not going to the Rabbi Yossi Aglili, and in truth that answers up the bottom brace on Amid Aleph, which as well was going with Rabbi Yossi and Nuri, Rabbi Yossi Aglili in the machlekes Rav Elazar ben Yaakov and Rav Elazar Chasma. We move along and discussing what is the minimum quantity of truma to be consumed in order to be chayiv. The additional fifth says the Tanna Kama ksayis, says Abba Shal shava pruta. Tanna Kama says the ksayis because the Torah calls it achila. V'ish ki yoichal kodesh. Whatever Achila is by Kazayis. Abba Shal says no, a Shava Pruta, because it says word V'nasan, and every Nesina is a Shava Pruta. The Gemara first thing says our Papa that Abba Shal is adding on to the din of Tanna Kama, that not only do you need a Kazayis, you also need a Shava Pruta. But then the Gemara says no, it's not true. There Rav Papa, the Gemara proves that Abba Shal only holds it needs to be a Shava Pruta, and then the Gemara will prove that Rav Papa as well agrees that Abba Shal only holds it needs to be worth a Shava Pruta.